Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome back to the Backyard Battlefield, where today I actually have a Battlefield 1 special. I'm here with Jeremiah.
Hey guys.
Germ Gaming, and we're going to be shooting the Steyr M95. This is the cut-down carbine version of the Austro-Hungarian Empire's primary battle rifle during World War I. Originally, this was a full-length rifle, and it's chambered now in 8x56R Mannlicher. If you had a carbine length like this during the war, you were most likely a stormtrooper, kind of a frontline soldier meant to storm the trenches and do more than just fire from the trenches. So if you had a rifle this size during the war, you were a little bit more important, but we're gonna take it out today and we're gonna try it out.
All right, ready? Yep.
Now, these M95s were not nearly as popular as like the Lee Enfield, so I actually hadn't heard of it until I played the Battlefield 1 beta. I'm a long-time Battlefield fan, and I was super excited to see that DICE has chosen World War I as the setting for the new game. And in the closed alpha, and then later the beta, I got to try out this rifle in the Scout class. There's a version with just the iron sights, like we have here, and also a sniper version that has a side-mounted scope. But I really enjoyed the rifle in the game, and having not heard of it before, I did some digging and said, hey, they made like 13 million of these and they're not super popular. I can get my hands on one pretty easily. These M95s are unique because unlike most of the frontline rifles for most of the nations in World War I, this is a straight pull bolt, not a rotating bolt. So it's just back and forth. And the Germans actually had a nickname for this Austrian rifle. They called it the Rucksack, which is a German slang for back and forth. I'll go a little bit lower for this one. Seriously, what sadist put a steel butt plate on this thing? I don't want to do 5 rounds.
I think you're high.
High?
Yeah, you're high by a bit.
Okay. Even using the lowest sight that we have available on the rifle, the 100 pace sight, we discovered quite quickly that we were consistently hitting rather high. This M95 is loaded like the original with a 5-round end block clip. I've got some full metal jacket rounds here. Now again, the rifle was rechambered. Originally, it fired a round that was like about this long, and it was rounded off versus the pointed tip. The end block clip holds all the rounds like that, and the internal magazine spring right there is what feeds the rounds out of the clip one by one into the chamber. To load it, all you have to do is take your 5-round end block clip, keep the side with the ridges on the top, and the magazine catches it just like that. And then you take your bolt and feed it around into the chamber. Now I did a half feed right there because I don't want to shoot it right now, but that's the basic concept. With the paper targets confirming that we were at least somewhat accurate with the rifle so far, I wanted to try out some more reactive targets, so I set up some steel zombie head targets that Mark over at shootingtarget7.com was kind enough to send over, and I'll be using some soft tip rounds as the target is only 60 yards away. So we were shooting a little bit high, right, Jeremiah?
A little bit, yeah. I think if you shoot for the zombie's neck, you should be all right.
All right. The action is definitely smoothing out, it feels like. Just like my shoulder's smoothing out. Tuck it tight.
No hit. Looks a little low.
A little low? All right.
A little low, maybe off to the right. I'm gonna get a little bit more behind you. Just right behind it, miss. That was it. You hit it. I don't know exactly where you hit. I don't see a big spray on the target.
That's actually, that's not bad. I'm gonna do another one. Now I'm shooting at rest here, but by design, when you're empty, clip should fall right out the bottom. The clip is designed in a U shape that holds the rounds, and it's the rounds themselves that keep it from falling through. Without rounds in it, it just goes right through. Yeah, so our magazine well here is binding up just a bit on the end block clip, so when in doubt, lube it up. The Austrians actually helped prevent the zombie uprising, but lost the war because of it.
Almost no one knows that.
Almost no one, now you guys know.
I don't know.
It hit.
Yeah, it hit. It's hard to see where though. It's actually not splattering the paint as much as I thought it was going to. If I had to guess, it looked like you hit the zombie's left eye around there.
Score! Oh, that pull was perfect.
You shot the chain, dude.
Well, we thought that was going to last a while, didn't we?
So I'm pretty sure I actually managed to hit high enough to actually hit this chain twice. There's some copper scraped off onto the chain, and there's the hit right there. But then I also managed to somehow absolutely wreck the nut system behind the target. So I want to see on the GoPro what I did there. I'm not entirely sure. Two more, I think.
There it goes.
It's pretty accurate. We're going to stop here for a minute, take a break from destroying our shoulders, and talk for just a little bit about the history of this rifle. In the beginning, I mentioned that this is actually a Steyr manufacturing carbine conversion of the M95. It was done after the war because they had so many of these rifles that were full length, and they were just a little bit too long, and a lot of them got converted to carbines. In fact, most of them got converted to carbines. They were also rechambered for a more common round, the 8x56R that we're actually shooting today. Most of these rifles were converted because they were sold off as reparations for the war after Austro-Hungary lost the war. So what happened was when the indivisible empire became 13 different countries after the end of the war, they handed these off to a lot of these new countries. And mine actually ended up in the Czech Republic, where it remained until it was imported into America by way of, I believe, CAI importers. And that's how I got my hands on it. Next up, I'm going to do a shooting move, and we're going to use soft tip bullets. What I'm hoping is that pumpkin's going to explode. We'll see if it actually works. Half feet again. There we go. Don't you run from me! Yeah, you shot one after the cling. Looks like I'd say 3 hits, Jeremiah. Because it was rolling, so his guts are hanging out. Medic!
Does the hat look cool, Joel?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to try it without the butt pad at first. So I've shot a lot of old rifles, including like a Carcano, a few other things, and I've got a little more meat on my shoulder than Dave. Which is not to say that I'm going to do great at shooting it this way. I might be able to take the abuse a little bit better, but when we shot Dave's M1, I also got a pretty bad bruise. So
now hold on, Jeremiah, because this carbine looks tiny in your hands. It's kind of hilarious.
What can I say?
It's got a strong spring on it.
Okay. All right. Last one's a doozy. It shoots nice. It's a good shooting gun. I don't know if I hit anything, but it shoots nice.
Let's go see.
All right, let's go see. I think I hit this one, and this one. And I think maybe that one all look new. Because I think you got one in the top target, and those three I think were already there. So I think I got probably 4.
You line it up like that, and then in theory, if everything's lined up right, which it's not, piece of crap. We figured out what we're doing wrong with the M-block clips. You can put all the rounds in, they just kind of don't line up right, and that's why we've been having a hard time feeding these clips. What you want to do is, with 4 rounds in, get that bottom one lined up with the shape of the M-block clip, and just force that top round just straight back. It's gonna make a liar out of me here. The idea is you want these rounds to actually be aligned with the shape of the clip, and it'll actually click when they all end up in the same place. There it goes. Nice, even, and straight down the front. Joel is up next for the M95. What are your thoughts, Joel, on what it's gonna feel like?
I feel like it's gonna be a bit of an impact. I'm not too worried about the pain, but more of just like anticipating the trigger, the pull, and then just being able to see if that, just anticipation, just hopefully not worrying about that, and just being able to shoot.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Smooth.
Is there a button on here?
Nope, just ram it home hard.
Okay.
Treat it like a war horse.
Okay.
There you go.
Like, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I would like to fire it again. That was great.
So that one didn't kill him, but it killed the guy standing behind him.
Good work,
This
Joel.
ripped out his abdomen.
If he had really big like
The guy
elk
next
ears, it
to
could
him.
have blown his ear off.
So how far is this?
This is probably 120 yards or so from our shooting bench back there. These rifles were issued with some very, very interesting iron sights. Now, because this is a cut down into the carbine size, this sight would have been further out on the end here, but the rear sight remains basically the same, and it's actually how you can tell that this was a carbine that was cut down after the war, because it has the full rifle sights, the leaf sights here on the back. The Stormtrooper actual carbines that were used during the war didn't have the full leaf sight in most cases. This leaf sight, it's not meters, it's actually paces, which is equal to about 0.75 meters. And it's ridiculous how far they actually go out. You can put that up to 2,200 paces. That's basically just for volley fire. I mean, that's not anything actually useful. In fact, today we've been using it for the most part with the sights down at, in theory, only 100 yards. Next up, we're gonna try some long-range shooting at roughly 200 yards, way out in the back corner of the field right there. We have a 16-inch steel gong, AR 500 steel, half an inch thick. That's still gonna be a ridiculous shot. I've hit it with the M1A, not sure if I can hit it with this. We're gonna give it a shot, or 5. I'm gonna go ahead and put our leaf sight up, move the ladder piece out of the way. We're gonna use the bottom notch, which should be 300 paces. And with a 16-inch gong, in theory, that's enough to hit the target. In theory.
Left, tiny bit high.
That was close. That was really close.
It was.
You got this, man.
I think that was a tiny bit low. Maybe low and to the right.
All right.
Low, right in front.
Oh, so close, man.
Man.
Come on.
So in theory, on a man-sized target, we'd be hitting right around him. He'd be really scared right now. There goes our clip.
Last shot before the tank comes rolling in and kills him.
What are we gonna do against a tank with this anyway?
Nothing.
Right in front of it. Right in front of it.
What we're gonna do, because this ammo is so expensive, and this is a very, very far shot for these kind of iron sights and for being new to the rifle, we're gonna do 5 more at 200 yards, and then we're gonna bring it a bit closer and see where we're hitting. So let's go ahead and do 5 more. A nice big rock right underneath my knee.
High. Didn't
High.
see it.
Yeah!
You were on the lower left-hand side, about 730.
So I need to pull it up, maybe just a tiny bit.
It's a tiny bit, because I'm not 100% accurate on exactly where on the gong, but I know it was that area. I don't know how far in.
Now at this range, guys, this front post almost entirely covers that 16-inch gong. So you're basically, you want to get a little bit below it, and I'm just working the front side up until it's even with the top of the notch, and then pulling very, very, very slowly, because it's really hard to see that white gong even with the spray paint on it.
Low, directly in front.
Here we go.
That was a bit lower. Farther in front.
Well,
It's
one hit. Take that, Joel. There's some interesting history about Steyr, the guys who converted this rifle after the war. Because the Austro-Hungarian Empire obviously lost World War I, they were limited to making, I believe it was around 1,600 of these rifles per year after they lost the war. So for a long time, Steyr actually stopped making rifles as much, which they've been doing since the 1860s, and they started making automobiles because they were prevented by the treaties that ended the war by making too many of the actual rifles. Seeing everybody's enjoying the standing up shooting so much more, I'm gonna do that next, and we're gonna actually shoot a pumpkin out here at, I'd say, about 80 yards or so. That works a lot better when the rounds are actually straight.
Upper left.
yeah, just above.
It's so tiny, the front post almost completely covers it. I hit part of it, I believe.
Right above it,
That
dead
was-
center, but just above it.
Was that a ricochet or was that actually hot?
Same spot.
I
Got
saw
it that
pumpkin.
time.
Yeah.
Definitely got it. It went right off the right edge of it, top edge of it.
That is dead center. Look at the exit
that was
wound.
good. When you were hitting, you see where I was saying you were hitting at? Like it was...
Yeah, it's still too close even for the 100 yards. 100 paces, I guess it is.
You're about 2 inches high.
High, still?
Yep.
Yeah, dude, you have to aim so low, it's ridiculous.
You hit it the left side, top left side. Very good, center low.
So it looks like I hit it probably 2 times here and here, so pretty good on-center shots. Now I was aiming a couple inches low, actually. The top of the sight, I was aiming about down there. So it looks like the sight might be a little bit farther out than 100 yards. But something else that's a little bit interesting is I was shooting from a rest that time. I don't know if you can see anything starting to form.
Yeah, you're very red right there.
Yeah, but it does bruise a lot worse when you're shooting from a rest. So if you get a chance to shoot one of these rifles, there's no shame in using the pad if you're shooting it sitting down, but standing up, it was a lot better.
So we're back here setting up targets, and these are where the rounds are hitting behind the silhouette target. This is easily 3 inches into the ground. Like, that is the most
That's kind of
insane
nuts.
impact ever.
My gosh.
The horses are gonna trip in these and like break a leg. You guys can see on the end of the barrel right here, we have the bayonet lug down here at the bottom. I don't have a bayonet because they're super expensive. People actually just collect the bayonets. But the lug was actually used for a secondary accessory as well. There was a wire cutting piece. It would lock onto the bayonet lug, and it was essentially just a piece of metal with like pinchers on it. And what that would let you do, because of the power of this round, you would be charging out of the trench, you get out there, you take your metal piece on the end of your bayonet lug, you'd grab the barbed wire, load a round, and you shoot and blow the wire apart.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
I shot right below it because I saw the dirt go on it. I'm out.
These rifles actually have a very, very sordid and interesting post-World War I history as well. In 1938, when the German Reich just kind of absorbed Austria, a lot of these rifles were in the armories of Austria and the surrounding nations. And so the Nazis actually made new ammo and end block clips for these rifles and handed them out like candy in order to bolster their kind of second, maybe even third line troops in the Reich.
Anywhere around there. Nice shot, Dave.
This is our final attempt to hit anything up close. We've got 2 soda bottles at, I don't know, maybe 9 yards. We're just gonna hold super low and see what happens. Ready?
Yep. Nice shot.
That worked. I just held a little bit low. That thing is blasted all the way open. And just because I want to see what it's like, hip fire. Here we go, bolt action hip fire. So you come out of the trench with only 1 round, you are a dead man. That's not bad at all when it just swings. All right, it's very hot too. All right, Jeremiah, how's your shoulder feeling?
Not too bad. I mean, the ones where I was sitting down hurt a lot more, but
Yeah.
overall, I think if you're shooting with a pad or shooting standing up, you could probably shoot 40, 50 rounds in a day without being in too much pain. Your wallet would be in pain.
Well, that's good because from what I've heard, good Austrian riflemen, thanks to the straight pull bolt, could manage 30 to 35 rounds per minute, including reloads of fire, which makes you wonder, like, how many pouches of ammo were they carrying? You can't maintain that for very long, 5 rounds at a time, but it's a lot of stripper clips.
It is.
A lot. But did you actually enjoy it? Was it
Yeah,
fun?
I enjoyed it. It's a really good gun. It's pretty accurate, you know, especially given the age. It's pretty impressive. It's a little bit unfortunate that we were shooting at things so far away, and we're not that great at shooting it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the gun itself was really good. I really like the patina all over it, where you can tell, like, this is a really old gun. This gun has a lot of history. I wish there was some way of knowing the actual history of this gun.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it would be fascinating. It'd be sad, but it would be fascinating.
There's a good chance that this actually did serve during the war. That's a very good chance. And yeah, it would be fun to know, like, these armory numbers. Was this Czech Republic later on? Was it the Austro-Hungarian Empire? Like, where did the armory marks come from? But yeah, glad you enjoy it, and I hope you feel better soon. Joel, what were your thoughts if you're done playing with the gun?
Well, yeah, I love the sounds. I love how ancient it looks too.
Absolutely.
Like, just the dings and everything.
It's got history, and I love history, so.
Like, I'm always curious, like, how many people have been killed by this thing?
Well, that's a little bit of a darker train of thought.
It's dark, but yeah, I mean, that's part of the history.
It is very possible that this was actually used in combat, so.
But like I said earlier, like, this is literally my favorite rifle I've ever shot. I just love, the kick of it is just, it feels pretty crazy. Like,
yeah,
it feels really powerful. And I just love how slow it is. Like, you gotta rack it each time. And it's interesting because it's not like a different kind of
twist, with the twist, yeah. This is the kind of round from this rifle that if you were hearing those muzzle reports and those cracks over your head, that is a intimidating sound. I mean, it's a monster. I kept calling it a war horse, and it really is.
Yeah.
And it was definitely fun to take it out today. So thanks, Joel, for coming out and trying it out. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on the Backyard Battlefield.
See you guys.